Thinking about your ex only makes you weaker. On some level, you think that if you just, ruminate about your ex 24/7, you're going to cross the little missing part of the T and dot the little missing part of the I and somehow think of the magic thing to do or say to give you just that extra degree of control in the situation where you can finally talk your ex into coming back. And it's a fantasy. And those of you that have tried doing this, and people that have spun their wheels out and tried everything under the sun to get their ex back, they know that it doesn't really work. But yet somehow they still keep thinking about their ex 24/7. Now, there's a lot of dangerous things that come from this scenario. First of all, the hyper focus on your ex, it prevents you from executing on your own agenda in life. So how are you going to grow when you're just sitting around focusing on somebody else? How are you going to elevate over, the no contact time period? So that way you have this new energy to offer your ex if you're hyper focused on somebody else's agenda. The next thing is that it makes you super mentally weak because you're staring at this light at the end of the tunnel. You have this like tunnel vision on this end result. And it's the only result that you'll accept. And because you're so dependent on the outcome, it makes you so weak. Imagine you could only buy cars from one place. You're going to get the shittiest price out of all your friends, right? You better believe it. And they're going to sense that weakness. They're going to get turned off, and they're not even going to take you back anyway. Now, the worst part about thinking about your ex, something that you want to do because it's very indulgent emotionally, right? It's the only way that you can get a piece of them while they're not there. But the problem is that accessing some kind of thought about the past or the future, it only manufactures either depression or anxiety. There's no sense of calm or peace from thinking about the past or the future. Because true awareness, true peace, true groundedness comes from the present moment only. And so as you're thinking about your ex in your memories, those memories no longer exist. The memories aren't even accurate anymore. Well, I mean, the memories exist, but the instant where you were with your ex, that no longer exists. And your memories aren't accurate. So you're going into the past and longing for this thing that isn't here, and thus creating depression. And as you think about the future, you're thinking about, is your ex going to come back, or if they're going to choose somebody else? And because you can't really figure this out, all you can do is spin your wheels. You create anxiety. And it's funny because you can't even accurately forecast what's going to happen. Even if it comes true that they choose somebody else, you couldn't say on what day or with who or what. So long story short, you're accessing this fake version of reality in your head, the cost of which is depression and anxiety, all for the purpose of avoiding true awareness, true peace, which exists right in front of you. But because you're so indulgent in your little thoughts, and because you don't want to have an empty mind, and you don't want to just deal with what's in front of you, you're going to suffer this whole time in no contact. And your ability to get your ex back is going to be impacted even more because of it. Now, if you want some help with your mental discipline, click in my profile, click this link, set up a call with me, tell me your story, and I'll give you a step-by-step plan to get your ex back.